This live stream is sponsored by PSL, Sound, Light and Stage.
Welcome along to Sanders Park for this final round clash of the CMK Chartered Accountants Taranaki Club Rugby competition. Teams for today, Tukapa versus Stratford, round 10, both top 4 teams heading into this clash will be looking to cement their place in the semi-finals. We head now to the weather conditions for today's match. Bit of gloom around the park, as you can see in the distance. Current temperature 17 degrees Celsius. Wind speed of about 35 kilometres an hour, and wind direction being an easterly. Moving on to the last 3 games these two teams have been playing, both in reasonably good form. Tukapa having a good win against Inglewood last week, going down against competition leaders Clifton the week prior, and having a strong win against Southern. Stratford Eltham, on the other hand, they've had a good win against Spotswood, 60-10 last week, and a good wins against Coastal, and a loss against New Plymouth Old Boys. So 2 from 3 in their past 3 games, both these sides. Moving on to the points table now. Both top 4 teams, Clifton obviously competition leaders and unbeaten. Tukapa sitting in second place. They'll be looking to win today to ensure a home semi-final moving into next week. New Plymouth Old Boys in 3rd and Stratford Eltham there in 4th on 19 points, assured of a semi-final place. But a win here would likely get them into 3rd, so they'll be looking to get that done. Moving on to the team list now.
Thank you again for Tukapa Rugby to all those sponsors.
In the front row for Tukapa, we've got Thomas Edwards and Liam Burnett and Scott Mallow. Edwards and Mallow both out of the Canterbury system. Moving into the second row, we've got Leighton Price alongside Alex Perry, who will be looking to inject himself into the game. In the back row, we've got Chris Jollins returning to the side, alongside Mairanga Lapo, who's been a frequent try scorer for Tukapa this season, and Nathaniel Peters, an ex-New Zealand under-20 representative. Moving on to the backs, we've got Campbell Woodmass in at 9, former Wellington ITM Cup player, alongside Jason Potros, who's making his continued return following a shoulder injury. In the midfield, we've got Henry Miles, the captain, bringing up his 100th game this week, so he'll be looking to make it a strong match to warrant that 100th cap jersey, alongside Jacob Ratamai-Tavuki Neepkins, of course, a Blues representative. Out the back 3, we've got Luke Taplin, who's been a consistent performer, alongside Isaac Ratamai-Tavuki Neepkins and Mason Porteous. On the bench, we've got Ricky Riccatelli, of course, Super Rugby experience with the Hurricanes and the Blues, alongside Brendan Dent, Josh Keach in his first year at the club, Mitchell Croswell, 100 plus games for the club, Michael Nyson, Rory Ward and Kian Tipu in his first season for the club. Moving along to the Stratford side, we've got Alex Mitchell, Trent Rowlands and Aaron Tosland, a former Francis Douglas player, in the front row. In the second row, we've got Matthew Kissick, who's played over 100 games for Stratford Eltham, alongside Peter Takahu, who's a Chiefs under-20s player last year. A strong back row for Stratford with Rowan Slater alongside Scott Dury and Himopo Cunningham, the latter 2 both playing for Taranaki's ITM Cup team last year. Moving on to the backs now. In the inside backs, we've got Nick Childs, who's played over 100 games for Stratford Eltham, and he'll be coming in and ably being able to fill the boots of Adam Lennox, who's away with the New Zealand under-20 side, and alongside him is Rocky Elson. In the midfield, we've got Nathan Clough, who will captain the side, so that will be an intriguing battle against Henry Miles and Chase Bailey. In the outside backs, we've got Willem Ratu, David Avery and Nick Merson, who's out of Massey University and originally from Stratford. Moving on to the reserves, we've got Fletcher Lowry, Jordan McFarlane, William Butler, Cody Grayling, an ex-Tukapa player, Jack Meads, Dale Bailey and Niwa Barlow. So that's the lineups for today's match. We'll an eagerly anticipated match, these two teams not having met so far in the competition this year, so it'll be a good indication of where they are heading into the top 4 matches next week, which they're both assured of. We move on to the adverts before heading on to kick-off shortly.
Hi, I'm Nick Hughes from First National Collective. We're a local real estate firm that covers all your real estate needs. The reason we're involved with Tukapa is the community aspect, but also my kids, this is where they started their rugby. I'd like to wish the club all the best for the remaining of the season. If you need any help with any real estate needs, please get in touch. Nick Hughes, First National Collective.
Saves me hours, this little baby.
Checking plant health and weather damage?
Yep, and making sure the kids get home.
How are things on the farm?
Good. Business is growing in leaps and bounds.
Yep, I can see that.
52 years ago, I milked my first cow. This year, I milked my first bee.
Impressive. How do you do that?
Carefully, very carefully.
However rural life changes, we're here to help you manage the risks. That's what being a mutual is all about.
Quiet!
My name's Liam Ward. I'm 26 years old, born and bred in Napier.
I am Zane Johansson. I am 11 years old and I play Tukapa under 11s.
I'm Lucas Halls, 21, born and bred in Taranaki.
We have over 350 rugby players at Tukapa, from under 6s to senior 3rds, and no two players are the same.
Hi, my name is Mimi Tiffley and I was born and bred in New Zealand, New Plymouth.
Hi, my name is Reiner Bison. I am born and bred in South Africa.
It's the differences and diversity that makes this club great. No matter of the background, boy or girl, or the colour of the skin, we all make this club great.
I'm Henry Miles, 24, born and bred in Taranaki.
Kia ora, my name is CJ. I'm from New Plymouth. I play for Tukapa under 13s open weight.
Our club code is simple. There is no place for racism or discrimination in our club. We are Tukapa.
I am 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 Tukapa.
And I am Tukapa.
Really pleased we got into this. Thanks for your help, Dave.
It's a good idea, honey. You reckon it'll come out? Cover it and tell Compare to leave it 10 minutes, and you'll be fine. Good call, Dave.
Good call on getting those security cameras, Dave.
You call a new one yet?
Yeah, kind of.
When you've got decisions to make, we'll be there to help you make the right call.
I'd go for those ones, Bob. Yeah, good call.
Did you choose these?
Oh, you know.
For great advice and insurance, talk to FMG.
Hi, I'm Nick Hughes from First National Collective. We're a local real estate firm that covers all your real estate needs. The reason we're involved with Tukapa is the community aspect, but also my kids, this is where they started their rugby. I'd like to wish the club all the best for the remaining of the season. If you need any help with any real estate needs, please get in touch. Nick Hughes, First National Collective.
Welcome along to Sanders Park. We've got the Stratford side out on the paddock, led by their captain Nathan Clough. Last won a title, the Stratford Eltham Club, in 1991 when they were formerly part of Eltham, and now we've got Tukapa coming out onto the field, led by captain Henry Miles in his 100th match. One of the great competitors and clubmen of Tukapa, having joined back in 2015. A good Fitzroy man, Joe Burnett, alongside me, my fellow commentator. Be great to see him bring up 100 today.
He is a very versatile player. Started in 2015. Brings a lot of experience and calmness around the field. He adds to everyone around him. Very good up front.
He's been a really good performer for a number of years, having played for the Taranaki 7 side, a very competitive and combative man. So congratulations to him today on bringing up 100. I'm sure he'll be looking to do it in style with the win. Stratford, though, have been a good performing side these last wee while. Top 4, assured of a top 4 place moving into the semi-finals next week, so they'll be looking to get some good form heading into that, Joe.
Of course, and really, you know, 4th on the table, they really want to solidify their spot in the playoffs.
That's right. So Stratford playing left to right on your screen as you see it. We've got referee Josh Prestige managing this game today.
Stratford.
Are we good?
Stratford Eltham really got to battle this wind coming into them here in this first half.
Blue and red.
See a lot of kicks from Tukapa potentially in this first half. Really set them up.
Come on.
Pretty good conditions for today's match, as Prestige says it's time to get going. Rocky Olsen will kick us off, the Stratford number 10, as he gets a nice short kick off there.
Play on!
Leighton Price, with over 100 games for Tukapa, takes it well into contact.
Holding.
Potros now does look to kick early, as Burnett suggested, and it's a good one down into the 22 of Stratford Eltham.
Setting up territory here, very important in these first stages of this game.
Good.
Really set the standard.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
As we go to our first set piece, it'll be roll-ins to feed the line out. The Stratford Eltham hooker.
He was inside.
Good experienced campaigner. He'll be looking to find Kissick or Tikahu. Kissick, who's played over 100 games for Stratford Eltham. Tikahu, who was in the Chiefs under 20 side last year. So there's some good height in the locking stocks of Stratford Eltham.
Come back.
Prestige just managing that gap
we're
between
on.
the two teams there.
Stratford or Eltham always known to be very strong up front.
Play on.
It's a bit messy there, and it's just knocked on by halfback Childs. So we'll head to our first scrum. As you say, Joe, Stratford renowned for their sort of front row set piece work, so it'll be an interesting first scrum. Tukapa typically more mobile at front, so it'll be interesting to see these packs go head to head.
Who's got the edge here in the engine room?
So critical to how the game plays out, isn't it, that front row battle.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
So it's Woodmass to feed. Tukapa scrum half.
Use it.
As he finds Porteous. He makes a
tackle
good
now.
Over the advantage line.
Holding.
Little missed pass there to Moiringa Lapo, who's been one of the leading try scorers for Tukapa so far this season. Potros has taken there, and a good tackle.
Hold.
Of course, a former Stratford player, originally from the region, Jason Potros.
Roll one.
Perry charges up.
Hold it.
Jacob Ratabai Tavuki Neepkins makes a good probing run.
Forbes got to get out.
And Woodmass darts from scrum half.
Roll! Time.
It's a bit slow to come out of there, and the ref says will take time. Not exactly sure what for at this stage.
Conversation going on.
Yeah, so we're undecided, so we're going to play a scrum and tackle ball.
And he says we'll go to our second scrum of the day.
We're undecided how he got there, but it's not a penalty. Starting play with scrum going forward.
Very hard to get out of that corner, especially when the wind has pinned them down there.
Scrum.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. Tough exit play. Although Tukapa, not a lot of blind to work with on that right-hand flank. They'll probably look to come out to this left-hand, the near side. Obviously Jacob Ratamai-Tavuki Neepkins, who's been playing for the Blues. He's got plenty of speed in that number 13 jersey.
Crouch!
Although Miles will look to be quite direct, you'd think, as well.
Yeah, just with Miles having Ratamai-Tavuki outside him will be very important.
It'll do, use the ball!
Do in their combination here.
Pretty good short ball there from Potros, and he finds Ratamai-Tavuki Neepkins, but he's held up pretty well there by the Stratford defence, and they all come in. There's plenty of them joining the party, and they get the scrum. So pretty good defensive play there by Stratford Eltham, holding Ratamai-Tavuki Neepkins up in contact.
Red scrum.
As we go to our third scrum of the day, within 4 minutes. So the front rows are getting really up close and personal here.
So if you win the ball, you can go 5 metres.
It's a show for the front rowers, that's for sure.
Right, let's go. I need you to speed up the process.
We've got Edwards up against Alex Mitchell by the looks. Oh, no, in fact, that's Aaron Tosland and Mitchell on this near side.
Crouch!
So Nick Childs to feed for Stratford Eltham. He's played over 100 games for the club out of Francis Memorial College. And Olsen looks to spread it. Oh, looking to play with some industry in their own 22, Stratford. But it's out on the touchline, about 15 metres out from their own line.
Right, just keep the space here.
Very innovative, but it may be a bit too far there.
Keep going back.
As Burnett finds Peters, and they look to go the driving maul, which was one of their big tries that they scored against Clifton a couple of weeks ago, and very effective for them. Although Stratford Eltham doing a good job of, although just gathering a bit of momentum now. Potros goes out to Isaac Ratamai-Tavuki Neepkins.
Oh, and he's away! Luke Taplin in the corner.
But it was forward. It was forward. Nearly one of those moments. Nearly one of those moments out wide for Luke Taplin, who's been gaining a lot of MVP points lately for Tukapa on the left wing. But on that occasion, just forward. But Tukapa finding a bit of space out on that left-hand flank. As Prestige takes a moment.
Stratford Eltham have been pinned in their own half here. See what can happen. Surely Tukapa can really make something of it, but I think they're just holding it up here with great defence, Sammy.
It was a good defensive play there to hold him up earlier. Looks like they were just checking the concussion there on Alex Mitchell, the loose head prop for Stratford Eltham. But all's well by the looks, and we head into another scrum. It's been a lot of set piece play early on here at Sanders Park. Stratford Eltham, of course, merged back in 2017, and now colloquially referred to as the Thunder. Joe Burnett. Last title was back in 1991 when they were still as Eltham back then. As they look to run it once again from inside their own territory. It's pretty enterprising, but they earn a penalty, which will give them a good little exit here as they go to the boot of Rocky Olsen.
Of course, Stratford Eltham amalgamating, but a laborious history for both clubs, Stratford and Eltham. Big history, many titles in the 60s. Hasn't been many in these past years, but
a very proud club, Joe. Yes, a record 24 titles for these two clubs that have now merged. 6 titles back in the 1960s. Tukapa won the other 3, so it was a bit of a monopoly between these two clubs back in the 1960s. As we go to a line out here with Rollins to feed. Prestige just ensuring that the two teams are keeping their distance at the line out.
Don't delay, come on.
It's a bit messy there, so Tukapa get the free kick for an early jump by the looks. So Tukapa having the best of the territory in these early stages, Joe, and they'll be looking to try and put some points on the board.
It's been a show for the boys up front. Tiring last 8 minutes down in the 22 of Stratford, Eltham. But they're holding up in defence, which has been very impressive.
Stop the clock.
Just another little stoppage here.
I don't want those hooves, I want some more. They'll make him run faster, I hope.
As it looks like it's Peter Takahu there, just changing his boots over. Just cricketers changing their gloves, Joe.
Yep, just get it
Like
going.
a cricketer, Lou Vincent training to the mongoose.
Yeah.
Say that again. Yes. Just got a replacement
As
pair
we
of
look
boots
up
here.
at the balcony up there, plenty of good support. Looking down over Sanders Park, a few jars to be had, of course.
Tom on. Let's go.
Hughes, our proud sponsor here at Tukapa.
He's tagged down for yet another
Crouch!
scrum.
And we're back
Point.
on live with Woodmass to feed.
Sit!
Former Wellington ITM Cup player.
Stay on. No.
Potros puts the little grubber in.
No,
And it's a bobbly one that bounces up
Sits up.
nicely for Jacob Ratavai Tamuki Nikins. And he scores the first try for Tukapa. Well, there was a sort of bobbling ball there, Joe.
And the skills of the boy, he managed to pull off so many tries that you think, how the hell does the boy do it? But he just does. Very talented player. Been in the Blues set up for, I think, last season.
It was a nasty little bobbly bounce there for the Stratford Eltham back three. And just bounced up nicely there for Jacob Ratamai Tavuki Neepkins. For the day's first try. It was Potros now looking to add the extras. About 15 in from the right hand touchline. We might need someone to hold the ball for him in these slightly windy conditions. It's just away to the left. So we're 5-0 after 10 minutes of play. Stratford Eltham will be looking to build a bit of territory here, having played most of the first 10 minutes in their own half. Slightly longer on the kickoff there, but charge down, and everyone's onside. So off goes Rowan Slater in his first season with Stratford Eltham. And they find Scott Jury, who was a Taranaki ITM Cup player last year in the number 7 jersey. Doing some nice face play here.
No hands, no!
Back and goes, being pretty effective from that tight 5, and off goes Trent Rowlands, the number 2 jumper.
Stay up. Advantage offside.
They've got the penalty advantage, Joe. So they may look to spin it.
Can't go anywhere there. Offside.
So an offside penalty against Tukapa, 5 out from their own line. Stratford Eltham may look to the scrum here. They do, says Captain Clough in the headgear.
Need the whole body behind the line.
His battle in the number 12 jersey against Henry Miles in his 100th match for Tukapa. The set to be an intriguing one, Joe.
Two similar players up front on D. This will be interesting here.
Crouch! Point!
So a reasonable blind to work with on this attacking scrum for Stratford Eltham. A pretty good attacking set piece position to be in.
Rocky Olsen, former New Zealand Under-20 squad member. See what he can do here.
Out of Whangarei Boys High originally, Rocky Olsen. So he's been a good tactician for the Stratford Eltham club the last few years. And they come down from up north. And they go off the back. Does Himopo Cunningham. With a new advantage for Stratford Eltham.
And they're over. Held up.
So just a couple of infringements there from Tukapa. You'd assume that they go back to the scrum once again on this occasion.
We've had about 20, might one will have another.
On the offside.
It's about one per minute at the moment, Joe.
Yeah.
Let's go, form up, speed the camera. That's it here.
They're renowned for having an effective tight pack, Stratford Eltham.
Crouch!
So not afraid to get down and dirty in the intricacies of the front row.
Things in dark places.
There is Olsen. He's well taken by Miles, although they've got another advantage to Stratford Eltham from offside.
Tackle now, holding.
Edwards getting over the ball there. But we go back to the earlier advantage. And Childs goes quickly. A smart play, heads up play, and they find Willem Ratu out on the left-hand wing for Stratford Eltham's first try of the day. And we go 5-all. It was a real heads-up play there from Nick Childs, wasn't it, Joe?
Yeah, he went away. Portras on the outside, flicked away, put it down. They've been doing very well to keep it up front there, keep it tight, draw them in, and make it something, get some yards.
Some good hands there by Chase Bailey, a former Alf Bailey trophy winner in the number 13 jersey.
Now Rocky Olsen has to battle this wind coming straight at him.
Pretty good strike, but just away. So we're even Stevens at the 15-minute mark, 5 apiece.
The last 3. So just we're a team of 3.
Potros will look to get us restarted in the number 10 jersey. Originally from Stratford, of course. It's well taken back there by the veteran Matthew Kissick. Over 100 games for Stratford Eltham.
Playing on.
As again, they show plenty of enterprise to Stratford Eltham. Merson taking it down on the left-hand flank there. And Trent Rollins puts his head down and straightens the attack.
No hands! No hands!
So looking to play with ball in hand early on in this match. is Stratford Eltham. Bailey takes it into contact on the 40-metre mark.
No!
There's Tukapa go foraging at the breakdown. And it's a pretty good hit there from Chris Jollins on his opposite, Rowan Slater.
Eltham with very good ball retention here. Very good at ruck.
It's just spilled out there, and Mello picks up the crumbs. And he does what he does best and puts his head down.
Play on.
Off goes Jerry, but he just slipped.
Roll out. Could he fit?
And Kissick carts it up once again.
No lift. Hold on.
Burnett looking for the steal. Can't quite get it on that occasion.
Hands away!
Oh, nearly running over his own man there.
No hands. Hands away.
Alex Mitchell in the number 1 jersey. Looked like he was injured just earlier, so hopefully nothing too serious.
Stab through.
As we head back to a Stratford Eltham penalty, just for obstruction there.
Moving in off your lane. Obstruction.
So a few penalties mounting against Tukapa here. They need to be careful with the discipline early on. Don't want to give away any cards or anything like that. I'm sure Prestige will be counting them up in the back of his head.
Quite a few infringements at the breakdown. Tukapa just trying to challenge that great ball retention that Stratham's had.
As it always is, just finding where that line is, isn't it, Joe? Just headbutting the line, but no further, as they say. In terms of what the ref will and won't allow. So we head to a line-out feed from Trent Rowlands. Just inside Tukapa's 40.
You need to come in and sit.
It's a bit of a brisk day here at Sanders, but still pretty decent crowd come along.
Yeah, exactly, and you need to move off.
For this end of the round
Show me you're in, Stratford.
match.
Put him down.
And he finds his man in Slater, does Rowlands. Jerry takes contact in the middle of the park. Six straightens things up.
No hands!
Leighton Price just getting his hands on that one. Just left his feet by the looks. So it's another penalty against Tukapa. At the breakdown, as you pointed out earlier, Joe. And they'll head for the touchline to try and venture into Tukapa's 22, and it's a wobbly old kick, but it gets there.
Time off. Subs for red. Number 1.
Prestige just saying we've got a changeover.
1 sub.
And it looks like number 17, Jordan McFarlane, coming on the field for Alex Mitchell, who did look like he took a few knocks early on, so looks like that's been injury driven for Stratford Eltham, which is unfortunate. We hope it's nothing
They're off
too
the
major.
mark. You need to show me you can set. Time on.
Stratford Eltham may look to the rolling maul here within Tukapa's 22.
Oh!
And they do. So it's used more as a decoy.
Out of it now.
To get the ball in the hands of Nathan Clough.
Roll! No hands! Here we are.
Just keeping it tight. Stratford have been doing. This forward pack's had a run in this first 20 minutes.
Accidental. Collected a tackle.
Just running into his own man there was Peter Tukahu.
Scrum blue.
But you're right, Joe, they've been pretty good with continuity with the ball.
He's got it wrong, didn't he? And trying to cheat.
Led by Hempo Cunningham and Peter Tukahu have been really strong.
Good effort.
A few strong runs from Scott Drury as well. Really just working well as a forward pack, quite tight, holding up as a unit.
It's what we've come to expect from Stratford Eltham over the years, isn't it, Joe? Good tight five, good ball carrying, putting phases together.
Bind. Sit!
Two other progress scores. New from the first was 19, England 0. Southern at 12, Stratford 5.
Let's go.
So Tukapa to feed to the scrum. Inside the 22.
Bind!
They're looking for a good exit.
Sit!
And they find the Centurion in Miles, and he straightens things up.
Barging run.
Holding far side. Come back, Tukapa. All in front.
Mass puts a kick in. That's well chased by Mason Porteous.
Great tackle from Porteous.
Playing advantage.
So Stratford Eltham have another advantage by the looks.
New advantage. Rolled in the wrong way. Stay there.
Good hands there from Jerry. That back row combo for Stratford Eltham working nicely in tandem. Rocky Olsen puts a little kick in, but Potros is alert to it. So we head back to the penalty advantage, and it looks like Prestige might just be having a word with Captain Miles just to say, hey, get your troops in order.
Let's go back. Getting us quite a lot of cheap stuff. Yeah. Right, shoulder. Yeah. And there's other stuff going on.
Well, Stratford, you know, they're doing very well with this win.
Because otherwise, if you don't change,
tight,
then I might have to reverse cards. Are you happy with that?
Seems to be keeping this game very much in their hands in a sense.
That's right, looking to keep the ball in hand. A good strategy, of course, playing into a bit of a breeze.
Option here.
And
or there, not rolling.
When they've had a couple of penalties to cart them up themselves up the field.
Roll away. That's a due for not rolling.
Touch. Smack bang on Tukapa's 22.
So you got the line. You just stay on the line. Play on over the 15.
And he finds Kissick.
Play it away.
Veteran Centurion.
Tackle release.
Liam Burnett going in there for the steal. And he's got it. He's got the penalty at the breakdown. Has young Liam Burnett. And the black headgear. He's a real forager at the breakdown. Potros takes the quick kick quickly and makes some good ground just inside the Stratford Eltham 40. He goes to the back and he finds his man in Leighton Price. And Potros puts on the afterburners.
Backwards. No hands.
Eventually picked up there.
Play on.
As Peters, the former New Zealand under-20 player, makes a busting run down the right-hand flank before being well taken there by Willem Ratu, the Stratford Eltham try scorer. It's just lost there. A bit of a wayward pass, and Leighton Price couldn't hang on to it.
out of the way.
It was a good run though, wasn't it, by Nathaniel Peters down that right-hand flank, Joe?
Yeah, when he gets in stride, he goes. And he's hard to get down.
Locks in.
He's like a lumberjack on roller skates. Nifty. He's got size as well.
He does. Adds plenty of value in that number 7 jersey for Tukapa, does Nathaniel Peters.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
As Childs now finds Olsen. And they look to spread it with Merson.
Hands away!
He's well taken there. Alex Perry getting in the thick of things. Although Rowan Slater picks it up and gains a few extra metres. And Olsen.
No hands!
It's Jordan McFarlane in the number 17 jersey, who's come off the bench.
Then run!
Grabber there by Olsen. Although Neepkins is onto it, and he finds his brother. And Isaac Ratimai Tabuki Neepkins. And Will Ratu takes it into contact.
No advantage. Knock on from you. No, knock on.
Prestige will head back to the knock-on from the earlier phase.
There's no kick.
Well, the front rows are definitely getting up close and personal, aren't they, Joe?
That is for sure.
Let's go. Stratford. Crouch. Bind. Sit.
So 5 apiece at the 28-minute mark. Big scrum there by Tukapa. And Captain Clough carts it up just short of halfway.
Tackle away.
Kissick makes a few hard yards around the ruck.
Hands away, Blue. Play on. Ball came out naturally.
Out the back goes Chase Bailey. And it's just lost in contact. Both sides just not quite getting their rhythm in the game here, Joe, and that's potentially a case of, you know, that up front sort of the defence that we're seeing from both teams.
Indeed. Both teams have come with hot defence today. Opposing to the wind as well. Keeping things tight, keeping things simple is important. But as we know, Tukapa are a side that likes to really spin the ball and quite versatile out wide. They haven't been able to do that so far. They've been shut down, in fact, by this Stratford Eltham defence.
That's right, they will be looking to take a lead into this first half, given the breezes behind them. Tukapa. It's a nicely worked move, and they find some space out the left with Luke Taplin. So he's well taken there by David Avery. Alex Perry, of course, a former Stratford Eltham player, and he's well taken there. But off goes Thomas Edwards out of the Canterbury rugby system. The loose head prop for Tukapa. And Potros goes to the heavens. And it's well taken back there by Olsen. Although the Tukapa greeting party is there for him. Jerry has a nice link play there with Himopo Cunningham. And Clough straightens things for Stratford Eltham. A nice wide ball there from Olsen.
Hands away.
And a run against the current there from Aaron Tosland, getting up ahead of steam. As Prestige looks like he's got another advantage for Stratford Eltham. Childs throws the long ball, but we head back to the penalty. And Prestige, he'll be potentially venturing into his pocket at some point given this penalty count against Tukapa.
They've been announcing here. Consult his fellow referee.
Captain.
As he has a chat
So
to the
discipline
Centurion,
now, obviously.
Miles.
You've just got guys pass the ball, and they're not supporting anybody.
Their ball was so fast for them.
Of course, Miles not one to take a backward step.
If you want to compete at the
He's a
breakdown,
very competitive character.
that's the message. Keep your body
Miles
weight.
he's sort of like a Toyota Camry. He's reliable, strong on his feet.
Gets the job done.
Gets the job done.
Plays with his heart on his sleeve. Does Henry Miles.
Yeah, I've got this now. Yeah.
And he's obviously had to use some good words to get in the good books there of Prestige.
Keep the space, one.
So it'll be a Stratford Eltham line out. They've had the best of the possession so far in this first half.
We'll be looking to capitalise here.
Hold!
And Jerry does a great job with an outstretched right arm.
It's one going sideways.
So they go to the rolling maul.
Breaking away. Tackle release.
It's a bit messy, but it does come out on the Stratford Eltham side.
Tackle!
And Mopo Cunningham with plenty of good leg drive there.
Playing advantage.
Himself and Jerry have been
Lapo over the
runners.
ball.
Tackle! Holding.
Childs looks for the little impasse to Bailey, but there's no space there.
Playing on.
And Takaho cleans up the scraps.
Yeah.
There's Cunningham once again.
Tackle roll.
Gets some good post-contact meters. And the reserve there, Jordan McFarlane, sporting a good mullet.
Hands away. Still playing under penalty advantage.
And off goes Slater, making some hard yards and contact.
This is very good from Stratford Eltham. Just mounting that pressure, getting over that advantage line.
Oh, and it looks like we've got another penalty here. And he does, in fact, go to his pocket.
Tackle off the ball.
Looks like it's Leighton Price on that occasion.
No, I think it's Martinga Lapo, actually.
Tackle off the ball.
No, I'm wrong. It's Leighton Price, sorry.
What are we doing, Stratford?
He's making a rather sluggish walk to the other side of the field is Leighton Price. But it was mounting those penalties against Tukapa, and probably wasn't necessarily his own sort of malice play that cost him there, more just the fact that the weight of penalties had built up in the last sort of 10 minutes, wasn't it, Joe?
He'll be a loss for this next 10 minutes. He's big up front, big on D, he's a very experienced player.
That's right, former Taranaki ITM and New Zealand Maori player is Leighton Price. He's been a great servant of the game, both here and for the province. So Tukapa will need to dig deep as they go to seven men in that pack now.
Crouch! Point!
As the up front battle continues.
Sit! Stay on.
Olsen goes for a little dart, but he's well taken there by Jollins.
No hands!
And off goes McFarlane again.
Tackle!
Bounces off the first one, but Burnett's back to take him on the second attempt.
Ripped! Back by Blue!
All just lost in contact there by Clough. Horsey Farms out of Pangarehu now, out of Francis Douglas, but still playing for Stratford Eltham, where he's originally from, is Nathan Clough.
He still makes the drive.
He does, yeah. Good commitment. Former Canterbury Sevens player when he was down at Lincoln University was Nathan Clough. It's going to be a good battle between himself and Miles, both in the number 12 jerseys and both captains for their respective sides today.
Crouch!
As Woodmass to feed the scrum.
Sit!
What do you reckon, Joe? There's probably been 12, 15 scrums so far today.
If that, yeah, and it's really taken a toll on this forward pack.
Hold some weight locks.
There's the penalties mounted, obviously, with that yellow card. And interesting to see what happens in the second half.
Crouch!
Looks like Mason Porteous, the right one, just joining on the blindside flank there to add a bit more potency to the Tukapa scrum. He's done a pretty good job there. And Miles puts his head down.
Roll out. Did it come? Holding. All logs.
Woodmass going to the box kick. And it's a pretty good exit there from Tukapa. Nearly finding the halfway mark was Campbell Woodmass with that box kick.
That last one was good, okay? You don't need that space.
Quick line out taken. And Toslin, the tight head prop, gets a line out take.
Tackle, roll out!
Oh, and it's intercepted there by Isaac Ratamai-Tavuki-Neepkins. Picked it up off his bootlaces, and he'll go 50 metres to score. That's a real dagger to Stratford Eltham.
Like a thief in the night. He's picked that up out of nowhere. Good insightful play.
As we go to the replay there, plenty of pace to finish the job off. Shades of Sterling Mortlock in that 2003 World Cup semi-final against Australia for the All Blacks. And Ratamai-Tavuki-Neepkins picks up Tukapa's second try of the day. We saw a couple of weeks ago against Clifton where they scored either side of half-time, and it is that crucial part in any game, isn't it? Either side of half-time, and Tukapa have managed to nab a try there with Potros completing the extras to take a 12-5 lead. So really was needed with the man in the bin and having a bit of a breeze behind them for Tukapa. A much needed score right on the stroke of half-time.
Just moments like that, a game can change. Intercept try. Score changes, and you never know what can happen.
And it's a pretty handy kick that from Olsen. Right on the 10 metre mark, very much contestable for the Stratford Eltham players. He couldn't quite hold on to it, and it'll be a Tukapa throw at the line out.
Play the ball. Play on, backwards.
Takahu does a good job
Tackle
getting up
now,
in
boys.
front there and stealing the ball for Stratford Eltham.
Release. Round, out of it.
It's getting pretty physical at contact there.
They keep rumbling away up front.
Roll out.
Still managing to go over the outer line, break through. Scott Jury had a good break there.
Pushing hard on the stroke of half-time, and they find some space out for Ratu on that left-hand flank. Of course, the first try scorer for Stratford Eltham, although he is bundled into touch. And Prestige says we'll have half time. So Tukapa leading 12-5 as we head into the half-time oranges, and we'll head to our commercials at the half-time break.
Saves me hours, this little baby.
Checking plant health and weather damage?
Yep, and making sure the kids get home.
How are things on the farm?
Good. Business is growing in leaps and bounds.
Yep, I can see that.
52 years ago, I milked my first cow. This year, I milked my first bee.
Impressive. How do you do that?
Carefully, very carefully.
However rural life changes, we're here to help you manage the risks. That's what being a mutual is all about.
Quiet!
My name's Liam Ward, I'm 26 years old, born and bred in Napier.
I am Zane Johansson, I am 11 years old and I play Tukapa under 11s.
I'm Lucas Halls, 21, born and bred in Taranaki.
We have over 350 rugby players at Tukapa, from under 6s to senior 3rds, and no two players are the same.
Hi, my name is Mimi Tiffley and I was born and bred in New Zealand, New Plymouth.
Hi, my name is Rainer de Bisson. I am born and bred in South Africa.
It's the differences and diversity that makes this club great. No matter of the background, boy or girl, or the colour of the skin, we all make this club great.
I'm Henry Miles, 24, born and bred in Taranaki.
Kia ora, my name is CJ. I'm from New Plymouth. I play for Tukapa under 13s open weight.
Our club code is simple. There is no place for racism or discrimination in our club. We are Tukapa.
I am 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 Tukapa.
And I am Tukapa.
As we head to the first half highlights here at Sanders Park. 2 tries to Tukapa in that first half and 1 to Stratford Eltham. And we look to the replay now, Joe.
Jacob Neepkins dotting down in the first 8 minutes of play. Chip through, and Willem Ratu in the corner.
A good heads-up play there from Nick Childs, finding his man Willem Ratu on the left-hand flank. And off was Isaac Ratamaitavuki Neepkins. So it's been the 2 Neepkins brothers for Tukapa with the 2 tries, and Willem Ratu out on the left-hand flank for Stratford Eltham to take Tukapa to a 12-5 lead at the half-time break. They were playing with a bit of a breeze behind them in that first half, so there'll be plenty to play for in the second half. As there's a good contingent up there on the Tukapa balcony enjoying this fixture. Nick Hughes, of course, a great sponsor of the club. But it'll be a really good indicator where these 2 teams are at heading into finals next week. Both, of course, assured of a top 4 place. Tukapa will be looking to make sure they get a home semi. Stratford Eltham most likely will be coming up against Clifton in one of the semis.
Now, Tukapa to battle the wind. Being penalised here in this first half. Quite a bit.
Plenty of penalties, and they'll still have Leighton Price in the bin for approximately 5 more minutes into the second half for Tukapa. Miles just having a good chat to Prestige there, finding out what's going on. So it'll be the bald-headed veteran Jason Potros to start us off. Of course, had a very good season for Taranaki the last couple of years. Probably unlucky not to pick up a Super Rugby contract was Jason Potros. Here he kicks us off.
Very talented player.
So he's gone long there. And the linesman has lost his flag by the looks.
That's the win factor, Sammy.
Out it goes. Out it goes. But he's gone long and will come back to a scrum on the halfway mark. So not the start Tukapa would have been looking for there.
I can imagine Lawrence Cooley on the sideline. He'll be loving all these scrums. Absolute bread and butter.
Of course, the Tukapa veteran is Lawrence Cooley. He did love to get down and dirty in the front row, didn't he?
He definitely did.
Taranaki stalwart.
Crouch! Bind! Sit!
So Childs to feed the scrum.
Play on, flanker.
It's a pretty steady one from Stratford Eltham.
Play on.
And they find some space out there for David Avery.
Marginal. Play on. Tackle now.
Pretty strong tackle there from Thomas Edwards.
Playing advantage.
And it's lost forward in contact.
Scrum blue.
So the frequency of scrums doesn't seem to be slowing as we move into the second half, Joe.
The grudge match continues up front.
Right. Locks in, please. Crouch! Bind! Sit! Play on.
Lapo gets a nice offload off the back. And Miles
No hands.
cuts it up.
Play on.
And the ball's just come out the back of that somehow. And off goes Willem Ratu, the Stratford Eltham try scorer. He finds Nick Merson, the Stratford fullback.
Hey.
Clough gives a nice ball out to
Pass is
Rowlands,
good.
who gives a very good ball for a hooker out to his winger, David Avery.
Stay up.
Couple of second man plays and a nice little offload there from Slater, who finds Bailey, and he gets the bounce of the ball. Out comes Peter Takahu,
Roll out.
former New Plymouth Boys High School player. Stratford Eltham hot on attack here as Slater cuts across the grain. And Hamopo Cunningham again making some good yards in the number 8 jersey. He's been strong in the ball carrying department.
Tackle, roll out. Playing advantage.
So it's pretty close there, and it's another penalty for Stratford Eltham. Looks like it was no roll there from the Tukapa player.
Roll out. 14. Tom off, Stephen, here, please. Yeah, sure.
So we have another little stoppage here with Clough just checking what's going on.
Notice that Mitchell Croswell's come on after half time.
Are we good? We're back on.
Implementing his experience.
It's early days, early stages. Yeah,
Of course, recently brought up 100 games for Tukapa was Mitchell Croswell. He was part of that 2014 victorious Taranaki ITM Cup side.
Behind the line.
He's been a
back.
great servant for the club.
Onside. 14's got a roll.
So they go to the sideline here. I thought they might have looked for the scrum.
Not another scrum, Sammy.
Just with the one-man advantage there, with Price still off the field, I believe.
You might just delayed it all game, mate. We're not tolerating it this time.
They may well go to the rolling maul instead.
Same with you. I need you in. You guys got to show me the
Get
same
your
picture.
head down and drive.
Yeah, you can form the line out.
Alex Perry's 2 seasons ago he played for Stratford Eltham, so I'm sure he's getting a bit of stick. But he might be using his yellow belt in Muay Thai to complement that.
No more cheap shit from you, 5. No more cheap shit.
There's Rollins now. They go to the middle of the line out, do Stratford Eltham. Tukapa greet them pretty quickly, although it's formed a sort of secondary maul there. Which, it's pretty close to the Tukapa line.
One, go backwards.
The ball's stuck somewhere in there.
It's not available
Tukapa
immediately.
have done a pretty good job of snuffing that out.
Immediately.
And they'll feed to the scrum, 5 out from their own line.
Subs.
Of course, Tukapa manager Dan Johansson
Full red.
having his 50th match as manager today, so congratulations to him.
DJ Dan, as they like to call him.
Is there a replacement here?
Managing tunes and his very
Scrum
good
blue.
team.
As we see the 3 wise men of Tukapa in the background there. Ben Safleet recently, 100 games as coach. Alongside him, Nathan Lawrence as well, who coaches the under 85 side here at Tukapa. Of course, beaten national finalist last year in that great under 85 kg competition.
Bind.
So Woodmaster feed.
Sit. I'm straight now.
And it does appear as though the Tukapa scrum is back to their full complement with Leighton Price
Both of you.
back from his time in the naughty chair.
You need height on the bind. Okay.
We've got number 19, Cody Grayling, a former Tukapa player, just coming on the field now for Stratford Eltham.
Sit.
Interesting to see how they exit here.
Use the
Into
ball.
this incoming wind. Changed by Miles.
It's a tackle.
Rocky Olsen brings the kick back with interest. Certainly a tough part of the park to exit out of in these conditions for Tukapa. But Peter Takahu makes some good metres
He's out.
along that left-hand tram line.
Advantage.
And quick turnover ball.
Advantage over.
Ratamai Tavuki Neepkins is the man you want to get the ball to on that occasion. Although it's Miles in his 100th game. Will he be stopped? He looks on the inside and finds Jacob Ratamai.
Great work there, though. The two interlinking play of the two players, the two brothers, and Miles, tack for tack. And that'll be very important for the score.
As we head to the replay there, Jacob Ratamai Tavuki Neepkins with open pastures in front of him. Not too many are going to stop him from there. His second try of the day. And it's really been a case of the Ratamai Tavuki Neepkins brothers on the scoreboard for Tukapa. 2 tries to Jacob and 1 to his brother Isaac, taking the score out to 19-5, with Patros adding the extras. So again, as we spoke about, those tries either side of half time, often crucial in these tight encounters. Tukapa were on the wrong side of the ledger for that against Clifton. They've managed to right that here today against Stratford Eltham. But plenty to play for in this last half an hour here at Sanders Park.
Backwards by Red.
Olsen puts a nice short kick that Stratford Eltham have managed to claim.
Tackle.
Big hit from Neepkins.
No hands.
Good fast D there. Olsen.
Play on, charged. Playing advantage, 14, not rolling. Same player as last time.
His child spots a hole. Makes a few yards. Off goes Grayling. He makes some good contact yards around the ruck. Some nice pick and go play here from Stratford Eltham. And they do have the advantage as well. Grayling, he's added some nice impetus off the bench.
Fine there. No advantage.
Stitches will head back
14, not rolling.
to the penalty just
Final
inside
warning,
the Stratford
14.
half.
Go roll away if you're that side of
This
the ball.
wind at his back, he'll be looking to pin them down. Tukapa's half.
Good warning. See what the next picture looks like.
The Stratford Thunder have been, managed to hold a lot of pill. They've been looking to execute here. They've been building phases, but they not to execute.
Roll out.
Cunningham, he's been prevalent with ball in hand and made some good run meters. Olsen probing at the line, and he finds Avery.
Hands now. Play on, off foot. It's a
Ball
tackle.
goes to ground, but Stratford Eltham have managed to keep hold of it.
Release.
Off goes McFarlane. He's come into the game and added some good physicality in the number 17 jersey.
Hands away.
Tukapa running over the top of it, and they have managed to turn it over by the looks.
Get out of it.
Pretty fierce battle at the breakdown there. No, they haven't. Stratford Eltham still with the ball, and Olsen finds Merson out in the right-hand corner, and he dots down for Stratford Eltham, second try of the day. It was a pretty good contest at the breakdown, and for a moment you thought Tukapa had it, Joe.
They had it up front, but managed to get it wide outside to Merson and flicks away in the corner. Just leaving this game up a bit. Who knows? A little bit of momentum.
It was a pretty good finish there by Merson. Kept it low. Taplin's tackling effort couldn't quite dislodge the ball or get under it. So it was a pretty good finish in terms of low body position. Taking the score to 19-10 with the kick to come. Olsen doesn't quite have the legs on that occasion.
Stratford Eltham conversion attempt was unsuccessful, so the scores remain at equal to Tukapa Premiers 19, Stratford Eltham 10.
It's a nice little kick off there by Potros.
What a hit!
Foot was on the ground.
Brutal.
Play on.
Who was that? Asian Price saying, hey, I don't like a yellow card. I want to put a good hit on.
Hold it.
And Miles makes some good yards.
Hold now.
Potros is well taken there by McFarlane.
McFarlane, he's been around the park here today. He's really good coming off the bench.
Hold out too, let it come.
Looking to strive and make meters.
Take advantage.
Mass wants it.
They've got the advantage to Tukapa, so they chance their arm a little bit, and they'll come back to the penalty where number 2 Trent Rowlands, he was kind of submerged in that ruck, he couldn't quite get out of there, and unfortunately for him he was pinged for not rolling away. As we see a change for the Tukapa side with Rory Ward coming on the field for Campbell Woodmass in the scrum half jersey. Rory Ward, a surveyor by trade, originally from Hawke's Bay. So Tukapa have gone for the scrum here, which is an interesting option on the sort of 25 yards out from Stratford Eltham's try line. Thought they might have gone for the corner. Obviously with the injection of Brendan Dent in the number 17 jersey, backing their scrum to get a good platform for some attacking play with the back.
Crouch! Point!
He's bread and butter.
Sit!
Tukapa getting the edge here.
Use it! Use it! Use it!
That was by the Ward.
Release!
Tukapa looking to build phases here. Holding Pill. Oh, and he's got him to Isaac Neepkins on the inside, and what a good try. Straight up the middle. Good heads up play. For a second try for Isaac Neepkins. And a very important one too, Sammy.
Well, it's really the Radamai Tavuki Neepkins show today, Joe. 2 each for Isaac and Jacob. So really leading the way for the point scoring for Tukapa. But it was a lovely little in-ball there from Jason Potros to find Isaac. And again, he's an elusive runner in that sort of space and finished it off nicely.
And he's another man who's probably knocking on Necky's door. Looking for a contract potentially.
Potros adds the extras from in front. And we've also got a change here. Alex Perry coming off the field. He's been industrious all day. And on comes Michael Nyson into the forward pack. So 26-10 lead here for Tukapa. Croswell does a good job in taking that, and off goes Lapo.
Tackle! No now! Here we are. Carried back. Play on, pass is good.
Jollins gives a nice little offload to Edwards. And Neepkins in space.
He's snaking away out the back door. A very good passage of play there from Tukapa.
Well done. It's a great piece of work from the Stratford Eltham forward pack to walk over the top of it there and reclaim the ball.
Carried back.
Ooh, big up front hit.
Tackle!
Chris Jollins.
Ball still in. No.
Some lovely hands there in Stratford Eltham's tight 5. Finding some good space
Charge, play.
the fringes.
All on.
Isaac does a great job picking that ball up on the bounce.
Got to his feet.
Takes the attacking option. Croswell goes across field.
No now, off feet. Play on.
So we've got a balloon on the field, and Weasel pops it, and off goes Jacob Radavai Taviki Neepkins.
Henry looking to straighten up. Brendan Dent for the charge.
Tukapa looking for Stratford Eltham. A little bit of their own medicine around the ruck fringes with some pick and goes. And off goes Potros. Nyson tries to get the ball around the back, although Clough is taken in a big hit there by Isaac Ratamaitavuki-Nipkins.
Hold it!
Play finds its way back in Stratford Eltham's hands, and Olsen settles things down and finds touch. It's a pretty good clearing kick, really. We've got a couple more changes here with Riccatelli in the number 16 jersey coming on for Liam Burnett, and Kian Tipu in the 22 jersey coming on for Jason Potros by the looks. So you'd think he'd go into the number 10 jersey.
5 red, sub. 5 red.
In fact, it looks like Mason Porteous might be going into the 10 jersey with Tipu playing up the back.
We good?
Strong performance from both Potros and Burnett.
So Potros's first start since coming back from injury. Looking to really come back. They've missed him all season. He's a very important player in Tukapa's setup and their structure. But Mason Porteous, he's a good player. He's very hot on structure. He'll be looking to really implement himself.
Offers some good versatility. He can play a lot of positions out in the back line. Handy goal kicker. And he'll run the cutter for these last 20 minutes for Tukapa. There's Miles.
Tackle now.
Probes away at some gaps. Kian Tipu in the 22 jersey.
Tukapa looking to build phases.
Nice little ball at the back. Miles sells the dummy and finds Jacob Ratavaitavuki-Nipkins to finish his hat-trick. Although there's been a bit of a bust up in the back field, and they're all joining in by the looks. Although Jacob Ratavaitavuki-Nipkins has completed his hat-trick. You can't give this man any space. He's got plenty of speed, and he puts on the afterburners.
He's a very snaky runner, isn't he, Jacob Nipkins? He dots down for his third try.
Time's off.
So that's 25 points for the Ratamaitavuki-Nipkins brothers. Would have been a pretty good option at the TAB as the brothers to score a try each. Anyone having that will have done fairly well. There was a bit of a melee in backfield when that try was scored, although things have settled down since. Not quite sure what started it, but
no love is lost, that is for sure.
So Porteous to take over the kicking duties. He's done a pretty good job of that in Potros' absence in the earlier parts of the season. And makes no mistake with the extras to take Tukapa to a 33-10 lead here over Stratford Eltham. So Rocky Olsen to kick us off here. And Isaac Ratamaitavuki-Nipkins returns with interest. And he's still going. Oh! He was looking for the chip and chase. It was a great busting run from Ratavaitavuki-Nipkins. Somehow Tukapa have managed to keep it. And Tipu just leaves it behind there. So we'll go to a scrum. But it was a lovely little break as we go to the replay here from Ratamaitavuki-Nipkins. And Tipu just looked up a touch early as Chris Jollins comes from the field. He's had a strong game in the number 6 jersey. And it looks like we've got Joshua Keach on the blindside flank for him in his first year at Tukapa out of Francis Douglas Memorial College. So it'll be reserve halfback Jack Meads to feed the scrum here for Stratford Eltham.
Blind!
As we move into the last quarter of the match.
Yeah, let's have a gap. Let's keep going. Crouch. Point. Sit.
So Meads to feed. They find a bit of space here on the left-hand flank. Off goes Dale Bailey.
Play on. No, it came out naturally.
And Himopo Cunningham has been strong with ball in hand all day. Olsen goes on the inside to Niwa Barlow, number 22 jumper. Tukapa and a penalty there. Looked like it was Thomas Edwards over the ball. And the tackler not releasing there was Aaron Tosland. Sorry, the runner not releasing.
It's a big turnover in this game, especially with the clock, 65 minutes. Stratford Eltham really need to score there to get back into this game. There is time though.
There is.
Take advantage.
And it just goes through Price's hands there.
Advantage over.
And a nice little chip and chase there by Dale Bailey.
Got the flag up.
Although the ball's gone out.
Thank you.
And it will be a Tukapa feed at the line out.
Blue throw. If you want numbers, you got to see early.
Riccatelli to feed, obviously back from his duties with the Blues this season.
Not a bad man to bring off the bench, that's for sure.
Plenty of experience to boot.
The White Rhino.
Hold.
And he finds his target in Croswell.
Backwards.
Miles is there to clean up the mess,
Tackle out.
as he so often does.
Hold far side. It's a tackle. Keep your body weight up. Don't play it on the ground.
Good work at the breakdown from Stratford Eltham, really challenging the ball.
Play on.
Looks like William Butler there in the 18 jersey, pretty eager to get out of the line on defence. So he heads to the back of the line out, do Stratford Eltham. And Slater takes it off the back and he finds Clough, who in turn finds the referee.
Tackle!
But he's back up okay as Mr. Prestige.
Tackle release. Hands away. Release now. Roll out. Get out of it.
So Stratford Eltham.
Oh.
Nearly one of those moments.
Rata Matavuki was 10 millimetres away from having a fourth try there.
Yeah, I don't know if there were too many stopping him from that position, Joe.
Once that boy goes, he goes.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
And you know what? Let's have another scrum because we've had about 40 today, but
front row's really getting up close and personal today. It's been pretty evenly contested though, Joe. Both sides faring reasonably well and trading blows at different times of the match. Of course, Stratford, Eltham having the advantage while Leighton Price was off for 10 minutes.
Point!
And going okay through that phase, but it's been pretty even throughout, really.
That'll do!
And Tukapa there, though, make the best of the scrum.
A good bunt off by Isaac Needkins. Thomas Edwards wants the ball charging up the middle.
Holding.
Porteous to Miles.
Out of it, 13! Come back through the gate. Holding, holding.
As they do a few second man plays, and off goes Keach. He finds Croswell. And off goes Lapa on that left-hand flank. He's often quite dangerous when he's lurking out on that left-hand flank is Mairanga Lapo, being one of the competition's leading try scorers so far. Really poses a threat out on that left-hand flank.
50. Lock on. Blue. Red scrum. Let's go, come in. Yeah. Get.
As we move into the final 10 minutes of this match. Tukapa leading 33-10. Of course, both these sides will be in the top 4 next week when the semi-finals approach.
Conditions have improved here in this last quarter of the game. Wind's dropped, sun's come out. Let's all go. But God, it's always good to see some rugby footy on a sad day.
Need you to maintain
Crowd
the
up
space.
for their
Here we are.
daily fix of good rugby. At its community-based level.
It's not
That's right, Joe. The passion of grassroots rugby is unmatched, really. Some, great stalwarts coming out for their clubs, doing it for the love of the game. And that's one of the great things about club rugby in this country as part of our national game.
Well, it is the basis of it all, really. It's the development of players.
Crouch!
It's good to see players like Ricky Riccatelli and Jacob Neepkins come back from Super Rugby level and have their input on,
That's
on
right.
club rugby.
Stratford Eltham there managing to keep the ball.
Play on.
And they look to go out on this left-hand flank.
Let him run!
Off goes Niwa Barlow. They run over their own men. There's a few competing flight paths there from the Stratford backs.
Tackle roll!
Miles has taken a strong tackle there. And he's over the ball. And it'll be a Stratford Eltham penalty.
12 on his feet, holding on.
Nicely done there by Rowan Slater. Of course, former New Plymouth Boys High School first 15 captain. Chiefs under 20 player. He's had a strong game. As have all the Stratford Eltham back 3. Hamopo, Cunningham and Jury as well. So Stratford Eltham will be looking to finish on a high here. Trent Rowlands to throw into this line out. A couple of tries will leave them in good stead heading into playoff footy next week. Where they'll likely come up against competition leaders Clifton, depending on the outcome of other results. As off goes Riccatelli.
Stop! Oh, now.
Porteous puts in a wobbly old kick, but it's effective. And it finds the touch line on the Tukapa 40.
Lines the mark. Hold! Playing advantage. 5 early. There's a knock on there.
Just a bit messy there, but we'll go back to the penalty.
5. Offside.
And it was just for an offside line there by Tukapa. Just trying to get up a bit too quickly.
It's been the story of today's game, really, the whistle. Any flows, the whistle's gone.
Looks like Croswell gave a bit of extra, his 20 cents worth. And Stratford Eltham, out on the left-hand flank, is Niwa Barlow for a well-worked try. They took the quick tap, and away they went for a well-deserved try there from Stratford Eltham.
Smart, quick play. Flicked wide, Tukapa had to react, and straight to the winger Neil Barlow. He'll say thank you very much for coming.
A good quick heads-up play. We've seen 2 of those from Stratford Eltham today. A good try in the first half from a quick tap, and another one there on the back of a couple of words to the referee from one of the Tukapa players. Marched 10 metres, and quick thinking from Rocky Olsen led to a good try on that left-hand flank. Olsen, of course, will look to add the extras here. It's a pretty good strike, and it's good enough for the touch judges to say, yep, over.
Nudge in 3/4 from Rocky Olsen.
No, it's after the contest, Mitch. It's after the contest. It's after the contest. That's it. It was offside after the contest.
So we're into the final 5 minutes here with Tukapa leading 33-17 over Stratford Eltham. Of course, both these sides will be looking forward to blockbusting semi-finals in the next phase of the CMK Chartered Accountants Taranaki Club Rugby competition.
It's a tackle out of it, blue.
As Olsen goes out to Clough.
Taking advantage.
Well taken there by Miles. Off goes Neepkins.
Mistakes away.
Still under advantage. Advantage over.
Off goes Isaac Neepkins.
Take advantage.
Gave it to Lapo, but the ball was just lost there. For a second it looked like Isaac was looking to join his brother Jacob on a hat-trick for the day. And here he goes. Just drawn past, just lost it there. Was Lapo.
Yeah, bro.
But it really has been a commanding performance by the Neepkins brothers, Jacob and Isaac, in the 13 and 15 jerseys for Tukapa today.
Quite right, Semi. They've really quite elusive players, really. They play on their feet, play what's in front of them, and
let's go. 3 minutes.
It's brilliant to see.
All right, let's go. Crouch. Point. Sit.
There's Meads. Nice little chip kick there by Rocky Olsen, and the bounce is favourable.
Great pickup
for Dale Bailey. And off he goes. Finds Himopo Cunningham on the inside. He'll be hard to stop from here with the number 8. And so it proves as he goes over the line for a pretty well worked try there from Stratford Eltham. As we head to the replay. A very strong run there from Himopo Cunningham. He's been good with ball in hand all day and very much deserving of a try there on the as we head into the full-time zone nearly. And Olsen hits the post, so can't add the extras. But it was a lovely little chip kick earlier in play by Rocky Olsen. And Off went Dale Bailey, who eventually found Himopo Cunningham on his own on the 22, and he finished it off from there nicely. That will give Stratford Eltham plenty of confidence heading into next week's semi-finals. This goes long.
If this game stays the way it does, I think
Tackle!
Stratford play Clifton next round and Tukapa meet Old Boys.
That's right, yeah. Although Clough might have something to say about that as he breaks into the outfield. And he puts a nice little chip in for Niwa Barlow, and the bounce was good, but he couldn't quite gather it.
No advantage.
And it's been some enterprising play from Stratford Eltham in their own half that's led to some nice little opportunities. Off goes Niwa Barlow. Oh, and you'd have to say the line was begging on that occasion.
Just couldn't snuffle.
But it's been a real barnstorming finish here by Stratford Eltham as we head into the final play.
Right, let's go. Tom on. Here we are. Scrum blue.
So Tukapa leading 33-22. And you're right, Joe. It looks like it'll be a Tukapa Old Boys semi, likely played back here at Sanders Park next week, with the other semi being Clifton versus Stratford Eltham to be played out at Clifton as the top qualifier. Unless, of course, Coastal tip Clifton up, which will put a spanner in the works.
Stay on. Stay 8.
Porteous puts a nice little nudge in. And off goes Olsen, still looking to play as Stratford Eltham. That's a good little kick for Avery. Off goes the fullback Merson.
Play on. Play on.
Looking to finish on a high here, Stratford Eltham. Dale Bailey, he's come on the field and added some real speed for Stratford Eltham. Although the ball finds its way to touch, and Prestige says that's time. It's been a good contest here today, with Tukapa winning 33-22 against Stratford Eltham, Joe.
It's been a battle up front, really. These two teams just really going at it, particularly battling the wind in the first stages of this game, and it's been brilliant to see these teams go at it. But Tukapa took the edge over them.
Tukapa deserved winners on the day as we head to our try highlights for the day. The first one there by Jacob Ratamai-Tavuki Neepkins, hitting a nice bounce off the grubber to finish that with the first try for Tukapa. In response, quick thinking by Nick Childs, and he found Willem Ratu out on the left flank there. A quick thinking play. And Isaac Ratamai-Tavuki Neepkins with a nice little intercept there, and he ran 16 metres to finish that one off. And it was his brother again, Jacob, getting a nice little try off the back of an in-ball from Henry Miles there. And Stratford Eltham coming home strong with Nick Merson doing a nice job on that right hand flank to finish that one. But it was to be the Ratamai-Tavuki Neepkins show, with Isaac finishing that one off the back of a nice little in-ball from Jason Potros. And Jacob there completing his hat-trick. So 3 tries to Jacob Ratamai-Tavuki Neepkins, 2 to his brother Isaac. really doing the honours, and Stratford Eltham finishing strong here with Dale Bailey finding Niwa Barlow on the left-hand flank for another well-worked try for quick tap. Joe. And off goes Hamopo Cunningham for Stratford Eltham's final try. So a pretty even game. Both sides showing some pretty enterprising play, and they'll be looking to maximise that as they head into the playoffs next week.
The initial battle was up front. Stratford brought it to them. Stratford Eltham, sorry, brought it to them in the first half. Really pointing some questions. Penalties obviously led to Leighton Price's yellow card, but the Neepkins brothers really come through there. Some really elusive tries that they have scored.
Really making the most of any space, and that was really the difference between the two sides for Tukapa's 33-22 victory here today. So both these sides looking forward to their respective semi-finals next week, and we wish them luck. Thank you for joining us here today at Tukapa, and we look forward to joining you as we move into the post-round robin play in the coming weeks. Cheers.
This live stream is sponsored by PSL, Sound, Light and Stage.